everyone, and welcome to the channel Makeup Mama. This is the very first video to go live for the YouTube channel that has been much requested from my friends and family on Facebook. So if that's all we get, that's all we get. But if you guys do like these videos, if you would have your friends subscribe to my channel so that everybody can get updates. This channel is going to serve as kind of a multi-purpose channel. We talk a lot about like makeup, obviously, some quick tips and tricks for those of morning. You know, it is called Makeup Mama because I am a mom and I have a lot of mom friends. Hopefully this will give you guys, you know, a couple of little things you can do in the morning to maybe make yourself feel a little better. Also, the other goal of this channel is really to show some empowerment to all the women who have kind of gotten lost in life. I want to utilize this channel sense of empowerment that, you know, we can be moms, we can be wives, we can be dog moms, we can be career women, we can be all these things, but at the end of the day, we have to get back to who we were. So this channel will present to you myself, Amanda Leggett, live and in color, and all of the quirky things that I am. There's probably going to be humor, there might be a few cuss words, I'll try to edit those out, but you know, and there could be an appearance of the kid or two. You know, I'm in a spare bedroom, asked him not to come in, but if y'all have children or dogs or anything else that is, you know, takes your entire focus to keep them alive, you know that you can't keep them out of the room forever, no matter how hard you try. So today, for the first video, we're just gonna do kind of a quick get ready with me. I'm gonna go through what takes me on a daily basis, anywhere from 10 to 15 minutes to get some makeup on. Now, disclaimer to that before I start this tutorial. So for those of you guys who are going to follow the tutorial, it may take you longer. It's going to obviously take me longer to talk through it. So don't think that because this takes, you know, the video is going to take 35 minutes that it's going to take you 35 minutes every day. It's just sometimes, you know, kind of like when you make the recipe for the first time, as you're following the directions, it takes longer until you get better at it. So that's kind of what we're going to do, but I'm going to go through and talk just a little bit about myself, kind of, you know, who I am, what I do, what my importance are. I am filming on an iPad for the time being until I can get a camera, but we're going to make the best of it. Okay, so I'm going to try and do this as best as I can, like viewing towards the camera. But again, this is an iPad. It's kind of this is new for me. I am not really used to that. I do have a little mirror here that I will be doing my makeup in. I want to be very transparent with you guys on that and show you. You know, I figured out how to turn this on the first day I got it, and clearly I'm currently struggling. Oh, there's the button. Welcome to the life of a mom. Can never figure out, okay, well, it's not turning on. Anyways, so just so you guys know, I'm going to do my best to work this direction so that you can still see what I'm doing. I'm going to try not to do this. If I do, don't hate me. I will get better at this, I promise. I will be going through and naming all of the products that I'm using today. Oh, I figured out the button. See, this is why we need each other in our lives. Why we need other women friends. Gonna go through and highlight all the products I'm using. Know that just because I'm using a product, these basically are my everyday go-to staple favorites, right? So this is the stuff that I use all the time. I will try to review some, you know, drugstore products on this channel all the way up through your higher end products. Obviously, as this channel grows, I will try to go deeper and deeper, but I'm going to try. I do have a pretty good mesh today. I have some really good drugstore as well as some high-end stuff to kind of also let you in on a little bit of secrets on how to get some of this stuff for maybe a little cheaper than what they're charging. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the tutorial. You are as up close and personal as you can be for the iPad because I'm literally like 6 inches away and I'll probably hit it when I'm talking, but that's okay. All right, so first thing I'm going to do is whenever you're doing your makeup, it is so important for you guys to know that you need to start with a very, very moisturized face. So that's going to look different for everybody. I have really bizarre combo skin, which I think is actually really normal. So through here and in here in what's called your T-zone area, I get super, super oily. But like all around my forehead, down on, especially here, my jawline, I get so dry, it will actually flake. So that's not cool, but, oh, excuse me. I have a product that I think works really well for both skin types. Now, I only use this when I'm not, you know, fresh out of the shower, just use my Clarisonic and just use my, you know, daily, I call it like shellac because the moisturizer I use is so strong. I don't have to do this. But if I'm in a pinch and I don't have it, and I haven't done that like I am tonight. So tonight, obviously, I did all my moisturizing this morning, so my face is now dry again. I will use this. This is the Smashbox Primerizer Water. I unfortunately had a ton of skin issues as a child, so I don't have the fortunateness of having skin without having fine lines and pores like I have. So this is meant to be used solely to prime your face. Like you could just do this if you have really great skin, but I'm going to try and come up close and personal with you guys and show you here. I was actually on prescription medications for acne for a long time when I was in high school, so you can see the damage that it did here. So therefore, I can't use this as my sole form of priming. Now, if you have skin that you don't have these issues, or you don't have the fine lines here, this is my glasses, right? I'm a squinter because I wear glasses because I can't see. So I have a lot of other things that I'm working with. So you're going to see me use 3 priming products. If your skin does not require that, please don't feel like you have to. However, if you do have skin like mine, I'm going to give you a couple options. So as I showed you up close, right? Let's let the camera focus. You can see where I have a ton of pores. So for the pores, I actually use another Smashbox product. This is the Photo Finish Minimized Pores. So what this is for normal, I can't even talk. I'm so tired. It's Memorial Day weekend. Okay, normal to oily skin. I'm going to show you how this comes out. I apply this on the back of my hand. Okay, it looks something like that, right? And it is it's pretty neutral colored, but you'll see that as I push this into the skin, what it's going to do here is it does actually fill and blur. So as you put this on, right, you guys, I want to make you aware that you don't want to just rub this stuff into your skin. You are, like smear it on like we used to. You want to actually use kind of a rocking motion back and forth with your fingers. And now I'm only going to apply this in the areas where I have the pore problems, okay, which is obviously on my cheeks because that's where I had the worst issues growing up. And if we could get the camera to come back and focus a little bit, you can see a little bit. Woo, it's still not doing it. You can tell where it's actually come in and kind of filled those pores in. So I'm going to continue on, and I'm going to do that everywhere else that I have pores. Again, I'm only going into the areas where I know I need it, which is where all of my pore problems are, right? And again, it's this quick, just back and forth. You're kind of pressing it into the pores by just smearing it on top of the pores. I find that helps to actually give you a pretty good amount of filler. So you're going to look kind of funny when you're doing this because you're going to be able to see it because it is tinted, right? So you're going to be able to see this in your pores, but the nice thing is that it fills it before your foundation will, so you won't have to worry about your foundation leaving those pit marks because guess what? Your primer did it, right? So that's the first step for the primer. So again, like I said, I use 3. If you don't have so many fine lines like I do, you can omit this step. So the next product that I'm going to use is the Smashbox Photo Finish primer. Okay, this is a smooth, silicone-y feeling, blurring primer. It basically is something that I put on the fine lines. So I'm going to go into the other areas, right? So I did in here, in the chin, a little bit on the nose, and I'm going to go ahead in and I'm just going to kind of do the exact same. And whatever's left on my fingers, I just run it down my neck because I am going to blend into my neck. I don't have as many issues there. I have pretty good neck skin so far. I'm going to continue to take care of that. But for right now, I just, you know, I run whatever else is down. So, all my products are over here in case you can't tell. The next thing I'm going to do, because this is my quick, easy, my favorite foundation routine ever. I have a lot of redness, as you've seen in the up close. I broke a lot of capillaries trying to have my son. So, I have permanent redness that will never go away. I do not have redness to the point that I have to color correct. Some days I do, and I will use a green stick underneath it, but definitely not at 5:15 when I'm going to work. So when I go to work, this is my go-to. Okay, this is the Hourglass Vanish Stick Foundation, and I am in the shade Shell. Oh, it's not going to focus. It's not going to focus. So, one of the things I want to encourage you guys for your foundation, there's a lot of factors that you need to think about. If you have zero idea where to start, go to Sephora, have them do the Skin IQ test, and they can tell you. They got a little machine put on your face. They'll tell you what your color is, what your undertones are. So, I'm pretty fortunate. I am pale as can be. I am like Casper's cousin. But because I'm so pale, I don't have really any undertones. The redness that you see is broken capillaries. It's not undertones in my skin. So this shade here, Shell, is a pale neutral. This is not even close to the lightest shade they have, which is really nice. Hourglass has a great shade range, but it is a full coverage matte stick foundation. So I have to go matte because of the oily areas here. If you have severely dry skin, stay as far away as you humanly can from anything that has the word matte in it. Okay? And if you have super oily skin, stay as far away from anything that has the word dewy in it. Right? So dewy and matte are going to balance out your skin. I just strapped myself with my foundation. Sorry, it's my favorite part about the foundation. So if you're, remember, oily, you go to matte, dry, dewy, and if you're oily, stay away from dewy, right? And if you're dry, stay away from matte. Matte's actually meant to dry your skin out. Dewy is meant to add moisture and luminosity. So if you have one of those two types, if you have just, you know, your regular old normal skin tone, you don't have to worry about it. Oh, I don't know why this is saying the battery's dying. It's on charge. So we're going to go ahead and I'm going to come in here with a Morphe Y6 brush. It's a big kabuki brush. It's my favorite thing to blend this foundation out with. And I'm just going to blend. And you guys are going to see really quickly why this is my everyday morning go-to. Okay? Because this provides, and you blend in circles, into the hairline, get it on your eyelids, right? But this is it's kind of creamy, goes a creamy to a powder finish. And it literally just takes 30 seconds and we are disappeared and even. Okay. So this is why this is my daily. It's my go-to. I do, if I decide I wanted to, like I can come back in here and hit this again with, you know, a little extra something. However, this is my 5:15 in the morning. Get ready. Look, I ain't doing nothing but one coat. Okay, that's just the way that goes. So from here, this is literally how I do makeup every single day. I then go and find my favorite. This is like the best flipping concealer find you'd ever find in your whole life. This is Catrice Liquid Camouflage. This is $5.99 in Ulta, and it covers like high-end concealer. I don't even know how else to describe it. It is very, very full coverage. It's very light. It sits under the eyes. It's fantastic, and I love it. So I will take my concealer. That's the next thing I do. Okay, and I come in here now. If you've watched makeup tutorials and you see these girls in their 20s who have no pores, no lines, and they conceal from here all the way, they do this whole, don't do that to yourself if you have stuff here. If you've got texture, if you've got lines, you're going to want to conceal like we're in our 30s, ladies. Okay, we cannot conceal like the 20-year-old girls anymore, only because we just don't have the skin to do it. Concealer, unfortunately, is going to bring out all your lines. So the farther down you take this, the more likely you are to show off the things you're trying to hide the most. So be very careful with this. If you're just one of those fortunate people, or if you're on the younger end and you have beautiful skin, you can conceal all the way down here and draw the triangle out, right? And you can do this entire area of your cheek. I do not, and I don't want to draw any extra attention to those pores. So I conceal in a very small triangle. This is a dampened beauty blender. So when you go in to blend this in, okay, you notice I'm just pressing it in. I'm trying to not move that product around. I don't want to move that product all over my face. I want to keep it right there centralized. So again, coming in, I'm just lightly pressing it in. That's the other beautiful thing about this Catrice Liquid Camouflage. Done. It's blended and it's wonderful. And we love it. Okay, so while I'm here, I hear a lot of people complain about creasing. I'm going to set. So I have this little tub. This is actually a Tarte tub, but that's not what's in here. This is RCMA Translucent Setting Powder, and I'm going to take this on a Morphe Y11. And I'm going to come in right now, right here where I crease, and I'm going to go through and I'm going to set the face. The big takeaway here is I am done with my cream products for my makeup look. Do not put a cream product over a powdered face. It will do nothing but move your makeup around, and everything I'm going to use from here on out is a powder. So I'm safe. If you want to cream contour, which I do on occasion, only special occasions though, I don't do that every day for work, this would be where you would just set your under eyes. So we're going to talk about baking in later videos, where I'm going to show you guys how to really avoid creasing in areas that you don't want creasing, or allergy season, or your makeup breaking up on you. We're going to go into how to bake and how to really get that makeup locked in place. This locks it enough for me. Okay, this for me, we good. So the next product I'm going to use, and this is going to be a quick contour. So the purpose behind contouring, in case you don't know, is to create shade, shadows basically. It's like a shade and light. That's why Kat Von D named her palette Shade and Light, because you're trying to shadow in and out your, areas on your face that you want to highlight and contour. But what happens is when we put on our full coverage foundation, we actually take away the natural shade, because I literally just evened out my whole skin. Like, I made it all one color. So that's great for getting rid of the redness and hiding the stuff that I want to hide. It's not as great for the roundness of your face. So as you can see, like, my face looks really round, and it is really round. So I'm going to go in with, this is the Cocoa Contour Chiseled to Perfection palette by Too Faced. I was turned on to this by a friend of mine. Ooh. Okay, and as you can see, this is a bronzer, a highlight. This is a lightening powder, and then this is the contour shade. I will say this. I like these three products. I'm not the biggest fan of the highlight, because it's really glittery. Like, it's super chunky glittery. So if you dig that in your highlight, like, go for it. Go for it, girlfriend. Have fun. I'm going to be taking this on a Morphe M56 brush. The reason I keep using Morphe brushes, y'all, is they are cheap and they are good. One of the best brushes you'll find on the market, and they're paying, like, they're cheaper than Real Techniques. Ooh, sorry, kicked the camera. So what I'm going to do is I contour in two places before I go to work, because I don't have that much time in my life. I contour here at my cheekbone. So if you need to know how to find yours, literally suck your mouth in and find the bone. Okay, you can contour down here as well, but I like to do my forehead and my cheekbones. So I'm just going to take it on the end of this brush, and I kind of know where to go in, and I just create a very subtle shadow. Blend it in, okay? And as you can see, looking dead on, like, this side of my face is already starting to come in a little bit. Take that same brush, and I like to start here on the outer edge, come around my widow's peak, and contour the face. You can add as much or as little as you need, and you can be, Contour, they say, should always be there, but nobody should ever notice, right? So just from that, like this side of my face, you can see looks thinner than this side. If you have great cheekbones and you don't need to do this, you don't have to, right? So again, coming right here in on this side, contouring. And I'm going to start up here, and I'm going to contour the forehead. Now, I will take what's left, rub it down my neck, create kind of a shadow down there, right? But you do want to make sure you're staying as even as possible. I mean, it's makeup. It ain't going to be perfect all the time, especially if you're doing it early in the morning. Okay? Then the next step I do is on a Morphe R14, I take the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer because I love it. This is a really, really, really good drugstore bronzer. Okay, and I just tap in. This is how I tap into this. 1, 2, 3, and then kick it off. Okay, makeup is like salt. You put a little bit in the food, it goes a long way. Put too much, can't get it back out. You don't want to be that person at 5:45 or whatever time it is you get up in the morning. I feel like I'm kind of one of the craziest people that actually have to get up that early, right? But it is what it is. It's my life. I get up. I keep saying I get up at 5:45. I get up at 4:30. I leave at 5:45. Oy. See, it's too early to even think about. Like, I don't even want to resort myself to that. Okay? And you just bronze up the face. That step, if you've contoured, is totally optional. If you don't want to contour, bronze. That's just one of those things that is interchangeable. You can do either one that you want. It's just whatever you want to do. Or if you don't want to do either, don't do either. Like, remember, all these steps are omittable. It's your face and kind of how you want to look. So this is just how I like to look every day. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with the Morphe 9N blush palette. This is no longer available, so I feel kind of bad showing it to you, but I'm going to show you anyways. Okay, this is a 9 blush palette. They now have 8 blush palettes available on their website for $20. You're going to hear me talk a lot about Morphe because this is really good quality makeup for very affordable prices. And it's available at Ulta. And this is going to go on a Morphe E4. It's just their standard blush brush. So one of the things to know is that they don't have colors. Like, nothing on here tells you what color you're with. So I prefer this pinky shade right here. So I'm going to come in, and I like to tap in with my brush. You've seen me do it. And then I knock the excess off. Okay? Always, always, always want to knock the excess off. It gives you the most even amount of makeup on your brush. So you won't end up with stuff that's really patchy. So I like to come in here, I start at the apples, kind of brush it on, and then brush it back. And I'm just literally just rosing up the cheeks just a little bit. I don't like go crazy with the blush. Some people are like super blush heavy. So if this isn't enough blush for you, go for it. Okay? And I just rose them up. That's it. So the next step I'm going to do before I go any farther is I'm actually going to set this makeup with a setting spray. So I like the Urban Decay All Nighter. I like MAC Fix Plus. I like the NYX Stay Matte. So setting spray is basically whatever you like. Those are the 3. I'm trying to think if I've tried anything else. I did not like the Cover FX illuminating one because that literally had glitter chunks in my hair, so that one wasn't fun. But this is just the Urban Decay Stay All Night. So what I'm going to do is go in here. I know it seems silly, you're wetting your face, but all this does is actually makes the makeup kind of meld into your skin. And then I take a puffy. I learned this from another YouTuber, Laura Lee, and she does this, and you just kind of pat all that in. And now this makeup will stay until I get home at night, which for where I work and what I do, that can look anywhere from leaving my house at 5:45 in the morning and not getting home until 8:30 on a regular. So if I can come home and my makeup still looks good, I'm good with it. Okay, and I like to set before I highlight. And the reason is that the highlighter tends to go all over my face when I highlight. So I'm going to highlight with the Maybelline Master Chrome Studio Edition. And of course, I'm using a Morphe R36 brush. I'm going to swirl in there just like I had all the other products. pick the excess off. And then I'm going to come in here and just highlight right here on the tops of my cheekbones. So one of the things I want to tell you guys about highlight is if you have any kind of textural issues, highlight is going to show it. Okay, so I like a highlight like this. You can see how this is pretty blinding. It's kind of a wet look. There are variances out there for highlight. You have highlighters that are very wet. You have highlighters that are very soft. And then you have highlighters that are very glittery. It's going to all basically be personal preference for you guys. So as we move on, because we're close to being done, believe it or not, my eye makeup is actually some of my quickest. The face takes me the longest in the morning. We're going to move on to eyebrows. So for eyebrows, I use 2 products. This is the Brow Gal. Okay, this is their tinted brow gel, and I'll show you why I love this. Is my favorite brow gel I've ever had in my life. Okay, let me go like this. Woo, wrong way. Y'all see that wand? Amazing. And then I like this Maybelline Brow Precise Micro Pencil. If y'all have ever seen like the Benefit, I can't remember what Benefit's product is for the brows, but it's their little tiny pencil, or the Anastasia Brow Wiz. That Maybelline's a total dupe. It's fantastic. So I have pretty good brows. I'm going to come in pretty close. I have been actually regrowing my brows for 3 years. The 90s and early 2000s were rough on us gals with our brows, okay? We plucked them out, we waxed them off. So I have been growing them out for 3 years, and I've actually got a pretty decent amount of hair. I also use a product at night called Brow Food. You can get it on Amazon for like 24 bucks, and that has significantly helped me as well. So I don't have as much to fill in on a daily basis, and I definitely don't do the all-out brows like I do for my full glam looks. So I come in with this Brow Gal Brow Gel. There will be a dedicated brow video. That's what's coming next. For those of you guys who don't have the fortunateness of having like decent brows. So I will give you a dedicated video on, you know, how to do your brows quickly and efficiently. But as you can see, like I tossed this Brow Gal gel into my brows, and I have a pretty decent amount of eyebrow. The issue is that like I don't have a tail really, and then this poor little happy sucker over here, this left brow is like the redheaded stepchild of brows. I can say that because I was a redhead, and it just dies. Like the whole brow just dies. Like this one comes down so much longer, not so much. So I do have to even them out with the pencil. Ooh, what's going on? Says my battery's dying. It's actually plugged into the charger, but apparently it hates me. So I just kind of fluff this in. This is a fiber filler type brow. This is in brown hair number 2, which I do have pretty dark hair now. Thank you to Tease Salon and Hair Studio. Danielle, she has given me my wonderful dark purple hair. But again, right, so find your color. So this is for my hair color. They do have blonde and they do have a darker black if you have darker hair color. So what I'm going to do with this brow pencil is I'm going to fix like this area here. Okay, so I'm going to come in and I'm literally going to lightly in hair-like strokes, like you literally want to do hair-like strokes here, just fill in and add a little tail. And that's it. And I'm going to come over here. So on this one, you can see I actually have a lot more space to fill. The brow hates me. Okay, but I'm going to do the exact same process. I'm going to come in here, and I'm just going to do small, little, teeny tiny, gentle hair-like strokes, and fill that tail right in. And there y'all go, brows. So I'm going to use the spoolie end of this, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to spoolie out the brows. But you see, I don't even have to use concealer to carve them out when I do them like this, because that wand on the Brow Gal, y'all say that 3 times fast. Brow Gal Brow Gel, wow, is really fine and very thin. So I don't really have to worry about getting, it doesn't really go everywhere. So the setting gel that I like to use, I just found this at Ulta. And I can't lie to you guys. I have to do it this way because I have to kind of calm that a little bit. This is by Essence. I went in to buy my Anastasia Beverly Hills, you know, their clear brow gel, because that's just like got the market cornered on brow gel. It's $22. So I was like, dang, you know, all right, well, whatever. I had resorted myself to spending the money. Well, it's Ulta, and I was waiting on my nail appointment, and so I walked around, and I found this Essence brow gel for $2.99. And I figured, well, for $2.99, what can it hurt? And it's amazing. It's so good. Like, I don't even miss the ABH one. And I'm saving, you know, it's almost 10 times as much. It's $22 for that. It's $3 for this. So I just like to come in here and I like to kind of upwardly stroke the brow hairs. Okay, I'm not really sure why we do that in the beauty community, but I tell you what, it sure does make it look good. All right, this is wetter than a normal brow gel. All right, so this is a lot, really, really wet. So don't like freak out. It does dry down and it doesn't dry shiny. Like, your brows are gonna be fine. And then there they go, they're locked in place. In case any of you guys are looking at this and going, what the H, I almost said a swear word, see there? What is brow gel? It's basically hair gel for your brows. Okay, that's all it is. It's just hair gel for your brows. Okay, all right, so we're at the very last stage, the eyes. So for eye primer, I want to give y'all a few options. This is what I use, but again, I have really like difficult skin issues, so this is the anti-aging eye primer from Urban Decay. I want to make y'all very aware that you don't need a special eye primer to prime your eyes. That Catrice Cosmetics Liquid Camouflage Concealer will absolutely prime your eyes. That was what I used for a really long time, but I found that my eyelids have been drooping pretty bad, so I wanted to try something with some anti-aging properties in it, and Urban Decay just happened to have one. Okay, so for this, I apply, tap it out, all over the lid. This one does not have a whole lot of color, but it does cover the veins and stuff, and that's really all you're doing when you're putting on an eye primer. You're not putting on an eye primer for any reason other than you just want to kind of cover up and make everything, you know, evened out. For this, now, because this was a cream, I'm going to go ahead and set this. I'm using this brush that I destroyed that I got on Amazon by BS Mall. They're called BS Mall. It's actually pretty good brushes, but I ruined it when I washed it. So I'm just going to take some more of that RCMA translucent setting powder. And the reason I'm setting this is that now everything else that will go on over it will go on quickly and smoothly. I won't have any weird issues. Okay. All right. So for the eye look, I am going to go into the Anastasia Beverly Hills. This is the Prism. I really like this palette, but one thing I'll tell you is please do not pay full price for this. This palette goes on sale, I think, every other month. And I got it for like, it's $42 regularly. I want to say I paid like $27 for it. So if I were you, don't pay $42 for it, because Sephora or Ulta One will put this on sale. Apparently it didn't do as good as the other ones. I don't know. But I like it, so there we go. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to do an all over the lid color, and I'm using a Morphe M501. This is a tapered fluffy brush, and I'm going to go into what's called a transition color. So I'm going to do this color Unity right here. So I'm going to hit it with the end of the brush, kind of get it coated, and then as you can guess, the very next step before I put this on my eyes is to tap off the excess. So I'm actually going to come in, and this goes over the whole lid. Okay, I'm just fluffing this everywhere. I'm not being, I don't care. I'm not being like all like, oh my gosh, I got to get this perfect. I am literally fluffing that Unity color all over. I'm going to get Skippy and do two layers, because why not? Got a little extra. Okay, that goes everywhere. Now don't put this brush away because you're going to need it. All right. So then the next brush I'm going to do is the Morphe M573, which is like this tapered blender. Y'all forgive my dirty beauty brush. I forgot to wash them. Okay, and I'm going to come into this color Eden, And I'm going to do the same process, right? Dip in, tap off. Okay, so now we're going to start into the crease. So what I'm going to do with this is I'm actually going to keep the color a little bit more defined, but it's still kind of fluffy, right? So I'm just going to make sure that I'm hitting that crease and the upper part of my crease. So I have hooded eyes, right? So I actually have to really, really, really focus on defining this crease. And I'm just going to basically fluff until all that product is gone off my brush. Now notice I'm holding my brush way back here. It's kind of like a pencil. The farther up you hold it, the more pressure you're going to put. The more pressure you put, the darker the color. And again, like as if you're cooking with salt, you can always add more, but it's really hard to blend it away, especially if you're going for an early in the morning look. So that's eye 1. We're going to go to eyeball 2. Now I'm going to do the same thing. And this, I like to focus in the outer corner first, kind of just like a quick back and forth, and then windshield wiper that all the way around until that entire color has been dispersed off the end of my brush. Now, make sure that you get the color even, right? You want both eyes to look the same. We don't want one eye to be like, woo, woo, and the other eye to have like nothing. They'd be all sad. Okay, so that's it for that color. Then I'm going to go in with the M330. It's another tapered blender. And I want y'all to know that what I'm doing here is I'm starting and I'm building color up. So obviously if you don't have this palette, you can do this with any 4 shades that you like. Okay, so you start with a very light transition that's going to be a very neutral color. Then you start whatever color scheme. So this is a pinky eye. So I'm going to do this as was my second color. So if I go into the next part for the color scheme, I'm going to go down here to this color Saturn. Okay, and that one, this is the same technique that we're going to use, and we will have a whole dedicated video on how to do the perfect blended eye. Okay, so this is also going to go into the crease, but I'm not going to go up as high. So I am still going to, like, you know, do the same motion, right? Back down here in the crease to define my eye socket. And now I'm literally running this along the back of my eye socket. I like to open my eye for this, okay? Because I feel like that's how I get the best coverage and control, is open the eyeball. Gonna do the same thing on the other side. Always, always in and tap off. Focusing on that crease. Focus on that crease, open up, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. Okay, till that whole brush is empty. So this is a very tapered, fluffy blending brush. So as I'm doing this to keep everything blended, I go back in with that first brush and I just keep blending. I sing a lot, you're gonna get that a lot. Right, and lastly, for this last color, I've gotten down pretty good base, right? I did my transition shade, I did my first crease, and I built my crease up. I'm going to go down here to this color Parallel, and I'm taking that on a Morphe R39. This is like my favorite Morphe brush ever. Okay, you guys see that like tapered brush? So I'm going to just gently tap into that and then really tap the excess off of that, because this is going basically just on the very outer edge and around the socket. So it's got to be a super tapered brush. So I'm going to come in right like this. I'm going to deposit most of the color here and then drag it through. So down here gets most, and then just drag it through very, very gently, very, very lightly, so that you don't mess up that other foundation of colors. But as you can see, we now have a pretty good gradient going on, and we don't have any one color that's outshining the other. So again, down at the bottom first, outer edge of your eye. This is called the outer V, if you're wondering, if you heard the term. Dragging it through. Okay, dragging it through. And then I'm going to get that same big blending brush that I had, the M501. And I'm going to come through and I'm going to make sure everybody is married. Right? All the colors are married together. And that gives you a pretty seamless look. So the last thing I'm going to do is to brighten up these inner corners just a little bit. I have a Morphe M42. It's a flathead blending brush, or packer brush. And I'm going to come into this color Lucid, and I am going to literally come in, get this all over the top of my brush. If you are one of those people who really likes your to be really bright, you can put setting spray on this and it will make it really vibrant. Or if you don't have setting spray, you can use a water bottle with water, and water will actually make this a much more foiled shadow to give you a little bit more oomph. But again, this is my morning get ready with me, so guess what I ain't doing in the morning? I ain't about to spray nothing with no water. I just want to get it on my eyeballs and get out the door. Okay, and I'm going to come right in here, and I'm basically painting that up until that dark color on the outer edge, okay? So I'm going to grab that same R39 brush that I had with whatever was left, and I'm going to go ahead and blend in this edge. Because you never want to leave a harsh edge, right? So I'm going to do one more good blend. And that's it. Your eye makeup is on. Excuse me. To finish the look, I'm going to use my favorite mascara, the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. And I'm going to go ahead and put that on my lashes. So one thing I want to tell y'all is that I have really long eyelashes. So it's not the mascara that does this. And it's not genetics that I have long eyelashes. I actually use Rodan & Fields Lash Boost. If you're interested, my girl Lindsay Allison Russell sells it. So I'm going to link her website down in the description block. Okay? So that y'all can go, you know, contact her and all that. But that's the reason why my lashes are so long. The Better Than Sex is just one of the mascaras that I find that I prefer that highlights it. I don't know, you know, sometimes if you have really short lashes, and you're just going to have to find one that you prefer. I love this one. I love the Voluminous Lash Paradise from L'Oreal. That's a dupe for this. My issue with that is that it is way thicker than this because it is so much more volume, and my eyelashes are too thin to handle that. So I end up really clumpy, but it is a great mascara if you don't have, like I do, these paper thin wispy eyelashes. They're long, but they're thin. Butter London Double Decker is really good. Tarte has a really good one. It's the Lights Camera Action. It's a really good mascara. It Cosmetics Superhero is good. I'm trying to think of some other ones that I really like. Benefit Roller Lash. So there's some options out there. Catrice, I think it is, has a really good one that I can never get because it's never in stock at Ulta because everybody loves it so much. So bummer. But apparently because it's like $3.99 or $5.99 or something, don't quote me on the price. It's amazing. And yeah, so I can never get it. So to end the whole look, we're going to end with the Maybelline. Whoop. This is the Super Stay Matte Ink. Now I'm going to brag on Maybelline for a minute because I loathe a liquid lipstick. Like, liquid lipsticks make my mouth feel so dry. This is the best liquid lipstick on the market. Not only, hold please. Like, line on lip here a little bit. There we go. Not only does this not dry your lips out, but like this actually stays on my lips from 5:45 in the morning until I get home and brush my teeth at night. It comes off on my toothbrush. And I told y'all, I don't get home till like 8:30. So it is a full 12+ hour wear lipstick. It does not transfer. Once it's dried, you got to give it about a minute and it'll dry. It doesn't transfer. It doesn't go anywhere. It stays on your mouth. Eating, drinking, anything you can do, this stuff does not budge. Okay? Okay. It's amazing. I have like 17 shades and I'm just going to buy them all until I have every shade that they sell, because why would I ever need another lipstick if all I have to do is put one coat on? And y'all saw like this applicator is life. Okay. Okay, it's actually got like a really fine tip that you can go like I did and line the bottom of your lips or get your Cupid's bow. And then that doe, like it's almost like a doe foot applicator. Like it is, this lipstick is my life. I can't live without it. Can't do it. So anyways, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see all the content that I talked about is coming up, I promise that they will not all be this long. This is a long video because it's the first video. We will try to make sure our videos stay between, you know, 15 and 20 minutes, but they will be obviously more specific to other things. But if you did like this video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up and make sure you subscribe and share with your friends and let them know we're out here so that we can be a community of women who build each other up. All right, guys, I'll see you next time. Bye.